Do you guys remember this video? Here's what I think happened. I wasn't there, obviously, but this is my educated guess. Welcome to helicopter aerodynamics, a lot like airplane aerodynamics, just way more complicated. What I want you to pay attention to, though, is this induced flow angle and how it can change the angle of attack without actually changing the angle of the blade. This is a really cool visual representation of the airflow around a helicopter at a hover. So a lot of people say helicopters grab the air and beat it into submission. It's kind of true. You can see this aircraft is basically grabbing this air, throwing it in order to stay in the same place. Where you get into trouble is when that entire column of air is already moving down. Then you've got to grab even more and throw it down even more in order to stay in the same place. So I'm assuming this helicopter experienced some kind of wind shear. Wind shear just is a change of wind direction. Right? It doesn't actually have to move down. It can move side to side or up. But likely in this case, it was obviously, in this case, it was a wind shear that came down. Remembering that aerodynamics thing I showed you, right now they're descending, and I'm sure they're pulling in a lot of power to try to stay at the same altitude. Then something interesting happens, and they recover probably looks like 20 or 30 feet above the water. We have this thing called ground effect. You can kind of see it here. Let's pretend the ground is right here. The airflow will come down. It'll kind of get really turbulent, and then it has to go either out this way or out this way. And you get to ride that little turbulent air. It's ground effect. Ground effect on an H-60, which is the same thing I fly, is 53 feet 8 inches. It's the same diameter as your rotor system. So when you're flying and you're anywhere below 53 feet 8 inches, you get a little cushion of air called ground effect. And I'm willing to bet that they pulled as much power as they could, and as soon as they got in the ground effect, they got a little cushion of air and they flew home, and probably had to pull their cushions out of their butt cheeks because this was terrifying. The craziest part is they aborted the maneuver right before the wind shear. Had this rescue basket still been connected, it would have been bad. They also left their, word on the street, I don't know for sure, they left their rescue swimmer on the boat and flew home. Probably to wait out the storm and come back and get him later.